Hey, what's going on, guys? Just wanted to make an updated version for 2026 of how to use the indicator. And this is what it's going to look like. You'll have the dashboard, orb high, orb low, key levels, your stop loss, entry, warning level, TP1 and TP2. So by default, the settings are for M and Q. So if we're going to use a different instrument, you'll need to adjust the settings for the market behavior. Okay, once we get a valid setup, we see we get a grading. From that grading, it'll give us recommended contracts, entry, stop loss, how big the stop loss is in points, the risk, TP1, what level the TP is, the RR, the profit if we hit TP1, and the same thing with TP2, a warning level, and a take trade, or it'll say skip. So we got a B set up, so it's a valid trade. So if we were to enter the trade, it'll give us a stop loss, an entry, and TP1. And we also have a warning level for a weekly high. And as you can see, we eventually hit TP1. We do want to wait for the candle to fully close. The indicator will update in real time, so the grading could change. So that's just something to keep in mind. If we go into the settings, you can see that we can adjust the orb time. So you can set it to 5 minutes, 15, 60 minutes, whatever you like to trade. What is important that the indicator is anchored to Chicago time zone. So long as it's set to 8:30, if you're trading the New York Open, to show you the correct orb. For example, if we are in New York time, it'll show 9:30. If I switch it back to Chicago time, it goes to 8:30. As long as it's set to that correct time, you'll get the correct orb. So just keep that in mind if you're trading London session. It does have 3 entry methods. It has the standard breakout, which is the 5-minute close outside the range, a continuation, which is a second close outside the range, and a break and retest. So you can choose whatever one you would like. It has toggles for the dashboard, so you can control each one independently. So if you're just trying to look at the win rate info, you can do that. Go ahead and show you what that looks like. So you can look at all the data. Here's the tracking for the win rate. These are just how many days, what time it stops tracking, how many trades it should track. If you have it set to 0, tracks all. If you have it set to 1, it'll track 1. If you have it set to 2, and so on. Use high time frame filter. This is for the grading, so I recommend this being on. Realistic trading. So here we have 2 back-to-back signals. With this on, it will only track 1. This is for the P&L system, so it won't have 2 open at the same time and have 2 trades and basically inflate the numbers. You have your higher time frame, what it's going to use for the grading system. So you can set it to whatever you want. And you can set the EMAs to whichever you like. The ranging threshold is how many points the EMAs need to be apart to be considered ranging. Ideal orb size. So you have a minimum and a maximum. So if you're trading something that has a smaller orb, you can set those. Then you have a minimum size to track. So if you don't want to track orbs under a certain size, you can have it so the P&L system won't track that. You have the smart TP settings. So maximum TP is the maximum distance that the TPs can be. So how the TP system works, it's looking for key levels and is picking the best ones that most likely the price will go to. So minimum TPRR based off your stop loss means that whatever your stop loss is, that it'll look for TPs at least 0.7 away. TP1 and TP2 offset just brings the TPs a little bit closer since they are just ranges. Fair value gap look back is how far the indicator will look back for fair value gaps. Fair value gap min size is how big the fair value gaps need to be valid. Swing high and swing low look back is how far the TP system will look back for swing highs and swing lows. Then you have your watch level. You can turn it on and off. And there is a second layer of higher time frames or resistance levels to look for. So if you have it set to 2 hours and then you want to have a 4 hour just to add extra confirmation, you can do that. For the stop loss settings, it's pretty much like the TP. For the swing look back, it's how far it looks back for areas to have the stop loss. The SL buffer is how close it will be to that level. Then you can set the minimum and maximum for the stop losses. So if you don't want them to be that big or that small, you can have a minimum. And you also have risk management. You can set that to the maximum of what you want to risk. So for like an A+ setup, you'll be risking about $300. And you can set the correct dollar amount for what you're trading. So like I said, MNQ, $2 per point. Trading gold or NQ, you can adjust it to the correct dollar size. If you have any questions about this indicator, feel free to comment below. And it's currently free for all my Discord members, so you can go check it out there.